When I was very young, I was diagnosed with congenital glaucoma. I believe from birth, actually. Um, and my eyesight has been a very interesting adventure. I can see for the most part, but not like most other people see. It's very strange, and many times I've been asked, "Oh, how do you describe how can you see?" And my question is, what exactly am I comparing it to? It's not like, oh, here's like a piece of paper that clearly shows you what normal sight looks like. Now tell me what the difference is. It's no, I've got my sight and that's it. But yeah, when it comes to sort of how I relate to the world and that, it's not really a big deal. It used to be for me because you can see that my eyes are very different, and that's something that everybody on the street, not everybody, but it feels like that, wants to comment on. And I used to be very emotionally fragile. I still am, but I'm just better at hiding it. So the slightest comment will just make me run to my room and cry. But yeah, it's the sort of difference that the sort of otherness that kind of developed in me is something that I kind of embrace. I've quickly come to realize that the way I view the world and the way I navigate the world because of my sight and things like that has sort of allowed me to block out a lot of the external stimuli that the world provides that can distract a lot of people from a centralized purpose. My depth perception isn't as clear. So if I'm standing in a room or in a group of people, I'm overly cautious about how I move to avoid collisions. I've had countless collisions in my life. I was always the boy who was in the way, basically standing at the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe people were running up and down, setting things up or moving things, and I'd just be like right at the center, just because I couldn't tell how far away from a wall I was, or couldn't just didn't know where to go. So I was always that guy. And I was always the guy that was bumping into other people or getting into people's way, standing too close to people. And yeah, so I'm always sort of overly cautious about that. I knew it was you.
You knew it was me?
Yeah,
How?
I just knew. Life, for me at least, has required me to move faster and with a lot more dexterity that I felt I could generate, that I felt I could provide, or that I felt comfortable with. So it's been a bit of back and forth between me being comfortable, feeling safe, feeling secure, and me knowing that sometimes that isn't possible when you want to do certain things in life. Um, I the sort of the sense of sight for me is the um, what's the word? It's the least one that I'm concerned with. It's my least favorite sense, I would say. It's not one that I depend on all that often. I use it where necessary, but most of the time, for example, in my room here, my curtains are almost always closed. Whenever I'm not sort of doing anything too active, where I'm moving about too much, my lights are normally off, and I just don't need light. And that's how it was like at home as well. My lights were always off, and I was just sitting in the dark, maybe listening to something, working on some music or tuning something. And they'd come in like, "Why is your light always off? It's creepy." And I'm just like, I don't need it. When it comes to my ears, I love my ears. I thank God for how perceptive I am because of my ears, and how sensitive they are to everything, to voices, to sounds all around me, to music in particular, of course. Um, and I'm also very tactile. From a very early age, I started learning how to read and write Braille. Or should I say use Braille, since obviously you need machines to actually generate any text in Braille. All the different formulae and things like that. Um, it's an adventure, but once you get the hang of it, it's a whole different language. Like it's just a re reforming of English or any other language. I've actually learned Braille in Spanish as well. A lot of things being digital and not always that accessible. It's either, oh, we've got a lot of handouts. Sorry, Temi, nothing for you. or oh, go online and do this. The internet has always been a bit of a labyrinth for me. It's not been that easy for me to sort of navigate it. I'm not a big fan of the internet when it comes to academic pursuits, particularly when you're looking for anything that isn't a video, basically. If I want a video, YouTube video, or just Google video. If I want lyrics, slightly harder, but not a big deal. If I want an article, ridiculous. If I want a book, ridiculous. If I want to play, if I want a monologue, ridiculous. If I want a news article, forget about it. But these aren't things that I've ever sort of let limit me in any way. You know, if situations aren't being solved the way I want them to, I just move on, you know. That's just how my life is, regardless of the circumstances. That's how I always lived, because I'm someone who just overcomes any situation, basically. So yeah, it has dawned on me over and over again when I interact with other people and I tell them about my life and things like that, that I'm very boring. Because all I really care about is God, music, and drama.
No, keep your eyes permanently closed now.
Permanently closed.
It was that.
Yeah, it was.
But tiny. They're gonna move you.
Jack. Exactly. Permanent.
Oh, they're moving it.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't know that.
But still, it's a shoe.
I will take a hairband. Sorry, hairband.
Okay, I went to America. I got some Valentinas, a book, car, shoes, outfit. Did you change this to hairbands?
Yeah.
And the Bible. Oh my God.
That's a book.
Did anyone else just see that? Like half a tree hanging from the ceiling? Yeah. I've only just seen it.
That's a book, and you stole that from a script.
Yes, I did.
That's annoying, man.
When I was 13, my voice broke. I was devastated because before that point I had a very high and sort of sweet voice, and it was very, very sort of useful, very easy to access, should I say. Once my voice broke, I couldn't sing anymore. Literally, all my skill and my talent just seemed to disappear. But then I was sort of guided and mentored by a man named Frank Fitt. He's a gospel artist, a man that I've looked up to for many years since I first sort of heard him sing and heard his music. And he gave me a task, like a challenge. He said, okay, here's a song. You are going to perform this song in 1 year. Start practicing. And I was like, but I can't sing anymore. He was like, I don't care. Don't sing with you. So I did, you know, despite how hopeless everything seemed. And then a year later, I did it. I went on stage and I delivered the song despite how challenging the vocals were in certain areas. And that was like my breakthrough moment. And from there, things have just been sort of improving and getting better. So it was a kind of synesthesia where I could see colors and shapes. I could sort of delegate colors and shapes to specific sounds that I heard. I then became the music director for my choir. I will always observe, oh, you have this type of voice, which may be suitable for this type of music. And I just find it very interesting. It's another way that I sort of identify people and classify people in a way, which sounds very, very strange, like kind of arrogant, but it's not meant that way. It's just how my mind works with my ears.
Ready? From
unison to bass parts, to swap parts. You need to be steady with your note. I will all sing. I will always. Let's sing. I will always. Again.
Why are you whispering into the mic? Why are you breathing in my ear? Okay.
No, it's not even on.
No. What I mean is like when you're singing. When you were singing.
Am I whispering? Oh,
Like,
because
you know you have a very breathy voice.
She don't be scared.
Oh, you mean her singing voice? Her singing voice is breathy.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just I can't understand.
You see how eager Pastor is to like contradict me. This is what they do when they're not here. When you're not here, you know, they just come and attack me, man.
For the documentary, this is where like we do private interviews.
No.
She just doesn't understand me.
The confessionals.
No. I will not be silent. Okay. A lot of songs. I remix a lot of my old songs. One of my most successful hits, one of my best singles, is actually a song that I wrote when I was 12, when I was very young, and I performed it once. It was a very interesting. My mum still has the recording. My mum is one of those mums. Like when I was turning 21, which was like 1.5 months ago. My mum had been posting pictures like since the beginning of the year, basically, and like telling everyone he's turning 21. So I got calls like half a week in advance. Everyone was like, "Happy birthday!" I was like, "It's not yet. Calm down." So she's those kinds of moms. I love her so much. He's like so energetic, like the guy. He's screaming all over the place. Yeah,
You like those charismatic ones, yeah?
It depends. Some people, there are certain techniques that are dodgy on every level, right?
Okay.
But some people know how to pull it off.
Yeah.
The people that know, those are the guys with talent. You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, because they're putting some aspect of their own personality into the music, and it's like, it's awesome. It's just good.
I feel like you're one of them, though.
Amen. That's the plan.
You freaking don't believe in yourself, man.
No, I do.
You're
Amen.
like,
No, amen means so be it. Running with you, nothing to lose. You've heard every being, every creature. You're extending me hand to reach out, 'cause they need to know that it's not hopeless. Yeah. You're all they need to get through this, no matter how old or young. The truth is there is freedom for all, 'cause they need a shoulder, brother, comfort. Yeah. That's why you gave us this gospel, no matter how old or gender, color. There is freedom for all, freedom for all. Is that everything I do is tightly linked to my Christian walk, right? Which means that no matter how far I come, no matter how much I achieve, I'm never done.
Yeah.
So
it's
That's why you keep saying amen to everything.
yeah.
Like,
So
so
it's like
bless God, la la la.
it's like I still have to. I'm not going to give myself any kudos until I'm just not going to give myself any kudos.
What? All praise be to God.
I mean, he gets all the credit anyway. It's because of him that I've come this far.
Yes.
But like, I have a lot more to do, a lot further to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm very grateful for people like you who actually have, a musical ear to say, oh, you sound good, or you sing well, or things like that.
Yeah.
But it's not something I can tell myself yet.
Yeah. To get the joy and seal of approval is
Indeed.
hard.
It's quite. I'm going to put it on my CV. I'm going to be like, Joanne likes.
John approved my music. So
Exactly.
Good.
Hey, now, at the center of it all, it's you that I see. It's you that I see.
I want to do a lot. I want to do a lot. I am already doing a lot. So I'm a professional gospel musician. I record music. I collaborate with other artists. Well, when we look at the drama side and everything, the sort of plan I've had in my head for a few years is to teach. If I really want to do it, it'll be done. For me, the main thing is being better so I can actually be useful to others, be an inspiration to others, be helpful to others. Then there's no point. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
God so loved the world, he gave his only son to come and free all men and bring us salvation. For God so loved the world, he gave us Jesus Christ to die, to lift the veil, to open our eyes. I've been waiting since you were born, but you've always been so unsure. And I made this world to be yours. All I ask you to do is call on me. You know I can hold you. Call on me. You know I will care. Call on me. There's something special about you. So call on me.
Bullies. When my brother told me, well, I was ashamed. It was terribly, terribly wrong what they did to you. He may be my twin brother, but I never